Howdy folks, Kerbo here, and we're back on No Creek Farms. And there's a little bit of a change of plans. I had planned to go ahead and do field 3, the largest field, get that done. But looking at the forecast, pull that up. Next 3 days are rain. We've got a lot of rain on the way, so I'm not sure we'll be able to get that whole field done. So we're going to start with field 1. If I pull the map up here real quick, field 1's our smallest field. I'm going to try to get field 1 in today, but don't have a lot of time. The plowing took quite a while. It's almost over the second day of summer here. And we need to get the fields planted. I need to get some hay going for the cows to get their health back up. They are down to 40%. Yeah, 40%. And I did a little bit of experimenting with all the different mods I've got going on here. I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen. But the health has been declining on just grass and water. I did some experimenting. If I put some hay in, the health starts going back up. So even though we don't have power food yet, the TMR, if I do get some hay in there, it'll get their health back up, which makes them produce more milk. So we need to get some planting done, get some haying done. We got a lot to do. Let's hop into T6. We get down some pellet fertilizer. Then we're going to cultivate. And we're going to try to get some beans planted. So that is the plan. It's a pretty small field, so I think I'll just hand drive this rather than using GPS. And get it mostly covered that way. The multi-terrain angle is nice, but as you can see, it leads to some kind of strange results with the plowing sometimes. But the plowing is finally done. I think I'll probably end up selling the plow. I'm not sure. I may sell the big plow and get a smaller one just to clean up some areas where the compaction gets really bad. But I've also did some experimenting with the soil compaction mod. I'm not 100% sure it's working correctly. Because I had light pink and I would go over it with a cultivator and it wouldn't always remove it. So I don't know if I'm just misunderstanding something or if it's not quite working right. Or if just my tractor going over it is causing more compaction than the cultivator can handle removing. We'll just have to see how it goes. I believe this field's going to take a little over 500 liters of dry pellet here. So I'm just going to drive around the outside, I think, and we'll see where we're at. Try to get that right on the edge. Oh, and I also did some experimenting with the TMR, and I was talking to, I think it was Vorden on the SimStations Discord, who's played this map. And come to find out, unlike other maps that I've played with cows, you could just put TMR right in the same food trough. However, I took a look at the map before I knew that, and all the TMR triggers and stuff were under the map. So I assumed the author had disabled those, but it didn't. You can just put it in the trough. But I had moved those triggers over to this side of a fence area over there by a gate. So I may just feed the TMR there. Kind of like I'm dumping it out on the ground as something extra for the cows. I don't know that that's realistic, but I kind of like the gameplay aspect of that where it's separate. So we'll probably do that. We'll keep the main trough there for grass and hay. And let's see what else. Oh, Vorden also tipped me off that this map comes with a custom skybox. Sky textures, but they're not enabled correctly. So I fixed that. Sky looks a little better, a little higher resolution textures. I don't know if that comes through on YouTube or not, but it looks quite pretty here on my desktop in 1080p. So what else? I've bought another auger wagon. There's a green one over there you can kind of see in the distance hooked up to the truck. That's got my seed in it. This blue one out here has got the dry pellet fertilizer in it. So I can buy this stuff in bulk over at the dealer. A lot cheaper than I can get it on a pallet delivered. So we're now out. Now I'm compacting my field. I want to try not to drive too much over the same place more than once. Let's get filled up again. Maybe about here. We'll have to see if that does the trick. Let's get the cover off here. Got the little Massey here doing tipper duty. It's got a sticky clutch. Got to make sure you get that parking brake on before you start her up. Alright, so if I tilt that back and I unload, is that going to work? I don't think I'm quite close enough. Yeah, I'm not quite close enough. Get it figured out here. See if that does the trick. Looks like it's pointed at it. Let's see if it makes the trigger happy. Nope. It is still not happy. Alright. Get a little bit closer then. I've done this before. It does work. That's how I filled it up initially. It's just a little picky about getting it in the right spot. I've actually had before where I had to tip it again once it was in the right spot. No? What's going on here? What's going on here, tractor? Why won't you tip? It looks like it's lined up. Well, Massey sounds good sitting there idling. Yeah, still doesn't want to do it. There's not some other key I'm missing, is there? No? There is fertilizer in there. Why do you not want to empty out? Should be R to unload. I know last time I filled up, one time when I saved the game with it in the up position, and I had to lower it and raise it to get it to work. Alright, I'll get this sorted out and I'll be right back. There we go. I don't know what did the trick, but but we got it. If it was moving it up or down or something. Anyway. Can't see the hydraulic lines, they're invisible, but it runs off hydraulics. Oh, let's get the cover back on. Alright, well, I don't know what the trick was, but it's working now. Time's a-wasting. Burning daylight here. I'm going to kind of follow this track if we can. That leaves a little bit of a gap over there. Not too bad. So, any other news? I don't think there's any other news here that's happened. I've got the seeder out staged, ready to fill up. Can't remember if it takes fertilizer and seed or just seed. Have to look it over again. Not too much else to report. The plowing took a long time, but it went well. I think it took 6 or 8 hours real time to get all the plowing done. It was a lot of plowing. But we should only have to do that once, in theory. Soil compaction mod, it disables the having to plow every 3 years, or 3 seasons, or whatever. But if we do get enough compaction, we may have to plow. I still don't know what compaction does. You know, does it affect... Hit the wrong button there. Does it affect crop quality? Does it affect yield? I don't really know. We're going to find out. Is it purely cosmetic at this point? We're going to miss a little bit, but we'll get most of this. Little strips here and there not covered, but that's okay. We don't need 100% coverage. Just need it mostly covered. Then run the cultivator over it real quick. I've got the T8 already hooked up to the cultivator. I did do a little bit of equipment swapping over the last, since I did the start video. I went with this smaller fertilizer spreader here. The one I had picked out was a great big one. I got to calculating how much dry pellet I needed, and for all 4 fields I needed about 5,000 liters, and that didn't even really fill up the big spreaders. So I sold it and got this smaller one that does almost the same swath. It does a pretty good swath. It's Massey is a good little fertilizer spreader. It's way cheaper. Of course, it doesn't hold as much, so you have to refill, but it's not too big of a deal. Anything else I swapped out? I'd swapped out the cultivator for a little bit wider one. Somebody in one of the comments asked about that handbrake sound. That is the development version of the Gearbox mod. I'm running the dev version of quite a few mods. Seasons, Gearbox, Follow Me, Courseplay, Course Soil Compaction, Grazing Animals. And I think the water trough mod is just from regular download. Anyway, if you have any questions about anything I'm using, of course, just ask in the comments below. Get the big boy fired up. Traffic coming. Get this thing cultivated. I'm hoping we do okay on the hills with this big thing. I do have the weight up front. Let's get around the corner here, and I'm going to get the GPS set up to help me keep nice straight lines. See how this handles. That's pretty straight, so let's fire up the GPS. Let's get a new course. Auto looks good. Turn the lines off, turn that off, lock on, and away we go. So we're doing okay downhill. See how it does uphill. Then field 3 has some decent hills. Field 2's got a little bit of a slope over there, not too bad. I think field 3 will be the make or break field on some of this. Did okay with the plow. Hopefully we'll do okay with the cultivator. Now, soil compaction mod gives you an option for deep or shallow cultivation depth, but with the disc plow like the disc cultivator like this, you only get the shallow. If you have a tine-based cultivator, then you can pick deep or shallow. Shallow removes 1 level of compaction. Deep removes 2. Plowing will remove all 3. I think if you cultivate under fully grown oilseed radish, it removes 2 levels of compaction. So there's some options. I guess the thought there is you're stirring up the roots. Alright, can I just swing this around? That's probably going to dig in quite a bit. To watch and not hit that wheel there. This thing is pretty wide. Which I'll be very glad of when we get to field 3. Looks like we are getting full coverage there between the swaths. A little bit of a dipsy doodle here. I guess those are erosion pathways. There's 2 of those in this field. Where over time the water's kind of worn it down. Well, I'm going to go back and forth here. I'm going to get this cultivated, and I'll bring you back in a little bit. Alright, I'm back, and we've got the cultivating done. I realize this is a seed drill. It does cultivating as well. So it's kind of redundant to use a cultivator and then use this planter, but yeah, since it's the first plow, first working of the ground, we're kind of doing it twice, I guess. Now the tricky part would be getting this filled with seed. It's not super tall. It's a little hard to see. Whoa! A little hard to see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to leave the truck here. Let's see if I can get the planter backed up under this thing. I think... yeah, I have to have this unfolded in order to have the door open. So that's why it's unfolded. We get this back under there without anything bad happening. Alright. In theory, that will fill up with seed. Let's test the theory. We have to get in here. I think the truck has to be on. Uh-oh. It's not reaching. We're hit up against there. I don't think my master plan is going to work. How did I do this? I may have had it unhooked from the tractor. I tested this out when I was testing the map. I don't remember how I got this to work. I think maybe I came in from the front. This is it's a little too much weight for the truck. I should be doing this with the tractor. Let's get the tractor out of the way. You set there. We'll get this figured out. This is probably going to be a longer video than some of the earlier ones were. We're getting a lot of stuff done this video. Trying to remember, did I come in from the side maybe? Somehow I got this to work. We may have to fudge it a little bit. No, it's not having any of it. This thing is picky. It's very picky. No, I'm not getting the R prompt there at all. That's my tailgate. I don't need my tailgate. But I saw it. Oh, there it is. We got it. Yay! Is that going in? Taking it? Why is it stopping? Oh, is the physics moving it enough that... It starts filling and then the physics moves it a little bit. Oh, I was hitting the wrong key, that's why it wasn't working. Whoa! There we go, we got it! We did it, team. Good job. I may need to do a little editing on this trailer. It's a little too picky. I like it though. It looks like something I would see here in Missouri. Alright, pipe is in. Let's get out of here. Alright, that's pretty finicky. But we got it done. Alright, now we got to see if we can get the fertilizer in there. Let's run over here to Little Massey. There's a little bit of a ditch here. I'm going to sneak through. Need to raise my forks up a bit. Try not to break the hitch off the trailer. Oh, I see. The seed is the back containers. That's why it was so picky. I know. We're just going to have to throw realism out the window here for a minute. Just back this in the best we can. Get it kind of close. I need to come at a bit of an angle. No, we're not quite getting it. I'm going to bring my cheat sheet up. Somewhere along the line we should get an R. I gotta work on the triggers on this stuff. Alright, let me get this figured out. I'll be right back. You know, I tested this, and it worked. I guess I just got lucky when I was testing, so... We're dumping it out on the ground. And we're bringing it over here in a bucket. For some reason it won't fill up this fill triggers bucket. So we're scooping it off the ground. And by golly, we are just pouring it in. I know. But I gotta get some planting done. Turn the speed back to 5 now that we're done troubleshooting. So yeah, I don't know what's up with that. We'll have to do some tweaking, I guess. dump some more of this out. I'm not sure how much we need. Let's just dump it all out. Because why not? We'll fill up the planter and then I can put the rest back in. So, we're just scooping it up and we're going to plop it in here. And then, by golly, we're going to get some soybeans in the ground. It's already 8 o'clock. So, I'm going to be planting into the wee hours from the looks of it. But we should at least have some beans in the ground. Are we full? Nope. Just quit pouring. Alright. Well, let's see if she'll take another scoop. Well, I wanted to try some new mods and some new equipment, some new ways of doing things. And there's a few little kinks to work out. Like I said, I did test this, and it works just fine. So, I'm not sure what I'm doing differently. Whatever it is, FarmSim doesn't like it. But that's going in there. Okay, now I think it's full. You full? You are full. Alright. Let's get some soybeans planted, shall we? I need to get this put back in the trailer, though, before it rains. So let's get you put down. You turned off. Get the cover off of here. And we'll just put this back in the trailer. Whoa! Oh boy. Calm down. Getting in a hurry and things are getting sloppy. You just slow down a bit. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Something like that. It looked terrible, but it did go in the trailer. I wonder if any of this will change in FarmSim 19. Kinda doubt it. Uh-oh, we got 666 liters. Is that a bad sign? Alright, get your bucket down before we break something. Turn you off. Get the cover back on. There we go. Close you up. Let's get the tractor hooked up. D8's been patiently idling here. Ready for me to hurry up and actually get some stuff in the planter. Other hoses to hook up. Alright. What if we could get some actual hoses in FarmSim 19? That'd be nice. I was using all tractors last series that used dynamic hoses. Kind of missed that. But I wanted to try some more of the in-game stuff that I haven't really used. And I didn't go to the trouble of creating the dynamic hose XML for that. It's a little bit tedious. It's not hard, it's just tedious. Alright, let's start down here. Got soybeans selected. Start somewhere in there. Let's take a look, though, at the map. We're not doing too bad on soil compaction. We got some compaction where we turned around. We got some compaction in these ditches where we couldn't really work them with the implements. But overall, not too bad. Not too bad. A little bit going on over here in field 2 where I had to do a lot of turning. Gonna get some lights on here. It's gonna get dark. And let's get kind of lined up where we think we want to be. Fire up the old GPS. Oh shoot. I used debug and that kills the lines. New auto. Zero the offset. We should, in theory, be good to go. That's the theory. We'll try it out. We are nowhere near straight, so we're going to hand drive this. Alright. We can do this. Is it Z to put the ridge marker out? Here we go. Turn off the GPS. We'll just hand drive this field. So if you use the F5 debug, then it turns off whatever GPS uses for its drawing. So until you restart, you don't get any GPS lines. The ridge marker is actually skipping there where it's got some hills. This should be close enough to follow. It looks like we're getting beans in the ground, so that's good. Counters are all going down. I'm going to take a quick look at the fertilization when we get down here to this last leg. I've had so many skip parts. I have no idea where we're at on time. I know we're going to run a little long on this video. It's important. We're getting our beans in the ground. You up, turn you off. So we can get this behemoth turned around. Kind of like so. And we bring the map up. I have to turn this off. Cedar cultivation. So we are getting the second stage. That's nice. Would be a second stage, right? It's a little hard to tell. I don't think cultivating gives you additional stage, does it? I skip around different games and I forget all about Farm Sim and how it works. The Shift Z. There we go. Alright. We're gonna get this done. Turned on. We're going to drive this ridge marker and we should be all good. I'd have any trouble pulling this. I did slip a little bit with that big cultivator on the steepest part over there. Had a little bit of wheel slip going on. So field 3 may be a little bit of a challenge coming up some of those hills. But maybe we'll just direct plant with this because it cultivates and seeds. So I forgot about that. It's a little redundant on field 1 here. I don't claim to be a farmer with vast knowledge of farming techniques. Alright, we're going to pick a line in the texture and we're going to follow it. And I should have room to turn around, so we're going to come out here, about there, turn you off, raise you up. Kick it to the left a little bit, come down through the ditch. Back onto the ridge marker. And away we go. How's that looking from outside? Just about right. I like it. Oh, I've got my speed control on 10. Can we actually plant faster than that? A little bit downhill. I think 10 is the limit of the machine. We'll kick it up a notch there so we can get that extra mile an hour. But I think I'll wrap up the episode here. We're getting beans in the ground, field 1, finally. Day 2, early summer. A little late to the game, but we got moved down here late from Abandoned Forest, and Had some setup work to do, had some plowing to do, so we're a little behind the curve this year. But I'm going to get some beans planted. I'm going to try to get a little hay up between rain showers the next 3 days. We'll see how that goes. I don't want to be driving on the fields when it's wet. So may not be much field work going on. So I'm not sure what's in store for next episode. We'll just see what the weather holds. But thanks for watching as always, and take care.